Hello, I'm going to make a 3D model of Khafre's Pyramid. So this one I made a while back. I'll put a link in the description. I posted one where it's a solid model like this. But I'm going to make one of Khafre's Pyramid where you can open it up and see the proportions inside. So it's a great pyramid one. I didn't post this video how to make this one, but it's the same principle, but I'll follow it up. I'll do Great Pyramid, Khafre and Menkaure Pyramid and make some models like this with compass and straight edge, and just again from the Vesica how it emerges. So we're going to be doing one of these, but of Khafre's Pyramid. And make sure I've got the screen. I want to start down towards the bottom. That's a bit shiny. Let's use this instead. And so we begin with all fit in nicely. Okay, well, that's the setting. I want the line up about here. Okay, begin with a construction line. And then a Vesica. Now I want plenty of room over this side, so I'll start it over here. Vesica 2 circles, second on the second circle centered on the edge of the first. And now we have a 2:3 ratio, which is Khafre's Pyramid is 411 wide Egyptian cubits at the base and 274 high. It's a 3:2 ratio. We've already got the proportions there, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2 high. And that will also, again, Pythagorean theorem and how that joins across the ancient world. Okay, now construction line there. Okay, well, you can follow it. I'm just going to be quick. You want to be as accurate as you can, use as fine a point as you can. I just want it all to show up on camera nicely. And so with that, we don't change the compass setting. Now we put it on the center of the Vesica. Mark the top and the bottom there because I'm going to be creating a rectangle around this point. So you go onto the edge, right to the very end. You draw an arc, small portion of arc. Small portion of arc. And the same there. Now what we also, now we're going to change the compass setting. So put your point on the center to the edge of the Vesica. Okay, now at the top where we left that mark, and now we have the points required to draw the rectangle which would enclose the Vesica. So it's a rectangle which is 3 wide and 2 high as proportion. I'll get up on camera. You can put your pencil on the point, just light shining, and use that to set the ruler. Now again, I'm being a little bit hasty. You might notice there's like a mil difference there. Again, take your time if you do it. If you want to make it, I just want to be as. I've got a tripod here in the way, which makes it uncomfortable. But if you do it properly, all the points and lines will be exactly where they need to be. It's just the rules of geometry. So now we have a rectangle. This now gives us 1, 2, 3. Now we have a cross section of Khafre's Pyramid. 3 wide in proportion to 2 high, which gives you, it's 2, 3, 4, 5 triangles. Just like the Egyptian rope stretchers used a 3, 4, 5 triangle to measure land. Now again, because you notice this book, it's a little bit out there. So, but you can, again, take your time, because, use the points as accurate as you can. For instance, I'll just draw that line again. Now, you see we'll come in and put this one again. Okay, because I just want it to be So now we have a 3, 4, 5 triangle, 4, 3, 5, 3, 4, 5 triangle, a squared plus b squared, c squared. You find it in the King's Chamber. Did a model a while back. Okay, I'll put that link in the description how you can do to get the upper chamber or the King's Chamber. And now we have most of the points we need. Now, what I need to do is actually I'm going to extend this line down slightly because I want to create a 90 degrees from here. And I'm going to use a different compass for this. Now, again, the Vesica. Now, firstly, I'm going to draw, I'm in camera, I'm going to draw a circle. And then I'm going to adjust the compass to the width, to the diameter of that circle. And similar as if you're bisecting, you need to draw a cup, like a heart, you need to draw a part of an arc, because we're bisecting the line essentially, the same method, but what I mean by you get a 90-degree rectangle. So if I was to carry that around, that'd be a circle, we'd have a Vesica, but now I can use that line, this point and that point, and if I extend that out, that will be at, now you could just use a set square to do it as well, but we just want to follow the compass and edge rules, so that would be at 90 degrees from that there. So sticking with the rules. Now technically, compass and straight edge, you can't use a marked edge, but with a Vesica, well, you can create units by drawing. So strictly speaking, it shouldn't be a marked edge to begin with, but you can create, one. So if that's the original setting, you just like 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can. But yeah, that's 90-degree rectangle. Sorry, 90-degree angle from there. And now we'll want to set the compass to the half base. It's still in set. Okay, so now with that we can mark that line. And now from that, draw it to the pinnacle there of the pyramid. And what I've done there is, so what we have here is the cross section. So imagine like this part here, we're going to fold it to do 2, but what we have is the cross section, and by drawing it like that, now I've created this portion of, so that has to be different because it's angled out. So what we have now, this will be a fold, which will create basically this, or this piece here. Okay, now with that, what we can do now is compass on the pinnacle, and what would be the, what we've got to do is, how would that go? Oh, yep, that's what we need to do. Compass on the pinnacle, set it to this point there. Okay, now put the point on the pinnacle, set it to that, and you just draw a big circle and come back around to the base there. And now with that, you're almost finished really. So now you set the compass to the base. And now we're just going to mark your point there, mark it. Geez, I hope I left enough room on the side of the paper. Mark it and mark that again. And what we have is all the pieces of the pyramid are here. And now what I'm going to do is, because I don't want to ruin the table, some scrap paper there just to cushion it. And I'll put that underneath. Because now to help with the folding that it comes later, okay, let me just check that I've still got that there, and I just want to make sure I've got enough. Yep, I've got enough room. Okay, so now I'm going to get a ball point. You could do it with a pencil. I'm just going to do it with a ball point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push down hard. So that's why I got the paper underneath. If you want to ruin your table, and okay, so this will help to fold it all together when you finish. So you can follow through. These are very important lines to Oh, and I figured, did I mention, like I posted this and I ballsed it up, and thanks to Rich Jarvis for pointing it out, because once I post something I just sort of, I don't watch, I just sort of do it and then post it. I don't really watch it, so thanks for him to noticing that I made a mistake there. And so now and if you haven't spotted it, these portions, this triangle, will be one of the faces of the outside faces of the pyramid. And just by drawing heavy with this ball point, it's going to help us a lot to fold it all together. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, but there is one more step that we need to do, and this one line. So you also want this line down the center of the vesica, because that's going to be your cross section there. So for instance, this piece and that piece is what you're going to get there. So you want to be able to fold that down the middle nicely as well. And I'm going to extend that out just a little bit as well. Okay, now with that, we have one more step to do and it's finished. What we need to do is bisect that part, and because we already have a half base there, we can just use that for our setting. You don't need to actually bisect the line because you've got the point already there. So that should be half if I've done it properly. Yep. And now from your center, because we're going to fold, well, you'll see in a moment. Of course, we also need to create a square to form the base. And we can do the same thing here. So we find the halfway point. Okay, I'm still on the halfway there, and so now I'm gonna, what we need to actually go back to the base length. Okay, and create a bit of an arc. Mark that line and create an arc. And now with that we go back to the half base. Is that, yeah, it's in camera. Mark each one of those, and there you have a square which will create your base for the pyramid. And there we have the square for the base, and we have drawn all the lines nice and okay. Now, because you'll be sticking it together, you want to include some pieces. So for instance, this piece here, we're going to fold that back, and that will help stick it together. We could do this. We want the same to be happening here. Now you can even just, because it's going to be hidden, you don't have to do it like this. You can just just have a freehand shape a bit of paper, but let's stick to the rules. Okay, so now that portion, we'll be able to fold it, and we also have to cut that part in half. We also want one here. You can just follow that line around, but what I mean, so you want a bit of like a tab just to fold back, and it'll all stick together. Same with here and this one. This one we'll also be cutting down the half, down the middle. And also keep that portion, so this portion will be kept in as well. So with that, you're ready to start cutting. So what I'm going to actually do, I'm going to cut that down the middle. So we have a little bit on either side. Okay, so your first cut is this portion, but don't cut it away, because this will help. Now the rest of these, again, it's that you don't have to actually follow exactly the line. You just want to leave a little bit of, you don't want to start at the corner, and just leave some paper so that you can fold it all back together. So you're just basically cutting from corner to corner to corner, always leaving a little foldable tab of paper to help stick together. Now at the square to form the base, that's not necessary. Just cut the square out as it is. That. Okay, now this part, you're going to also cut that down halfway. So okay, so there it is. That's the basic template that you'll be using. Now you want to cut that and snip that off. We'll do a little V there, just so it'll help you so things don't interrupt with one another. And the same here. Okay, and because we pushed down with the ball point earlier, you've already, the fold will just, this is very, very easy to fold now. And so first, all these tabs that I mentioned, what you want to do is fold them back in, because we don't want these lines showing on the outside. And if you do it with a pencil, fine point, because then again, you don't want it shining, you know, turning through. So all of these pieces, fold them up. And you want to fold it back in the middle. So now let's just get a bit of sticky tape just to help. And you can use glue, okay, and just to show you how it all works together. Just do it. So so we've got, that's that portion. Okay, so fold that over. The first part should that will be your cross section there. So, because we left that little tab on the inside, I'll line that up with that line, which it's handy, it's already there for you. And that's pretty much got it all there ready to go. Let's get that fold working. And so there you have your basic pyramid form. And because you had these added tabs, now let's just put a bit of sticky tape. Let's just stick that down. Again, you take your time, fold it together. You can then, we've always put a bit of glue there to do it properly. Just so don't have to wait for all that to happen. And you would insert that on the inside. Actually, I'm going to trim off this portion here. And you can leave that on, or like I'll put a bit of what the Americans call it, poster putty, and then you can, for instance, blue tack we call it. I think it's you Americans call it poster putty. I'm not sure what the European terms are. And so, for instance, with that bit there, you can, and there you have your, actually this portion will snip that off too. Oh, you could leave that on, put a bit of poster putty on that one as well. That's just a temporary hold it down. There you have your base. Now, there you go. Great. It's Khafre's Pyramid. That's the basic form. And by doing it this way, you also have this fold out. And why is that nice? Well, because there you can have your, you'd want to write this neater when you still have it folded out, so I should have done that, but 3, 4, 5 triangle. The same would here, 3, 4, 5 triangle. Which you have your nice forms. There also would be a well, 3 to 4. So that's the perfect fourth as well. So there's a nice music connection in there too, and then you can just fold it away with that poster putty, and there you have it. So how did this work out? The synchronicity for me, or Khafre's Pyramid is 274 Royal Egyptian cubits high. The Great Pyramid is 280 Royal Egyptian cubits high. So that means it's Khafre's is pi meters exactly shorter than the Great Pyramid. And so I'm going to do this one with this fold out form as well, but just by a nice chance, they're pretty much the same. I think actually Khafre's might be a slightly bit higher, but this is a bit folded and mouldy. I've been letting it sit and get crunched all over the place. But there you have the beginning of your Giza model. Now you could also have Menkaura's pyramid down here. I'll show you how to do that in another one as well. But it's just be the same process, and just to see how the nice math. For instance, the 3, 4, 5 triangle, and pi and phi in the Great Pyramid. Now, also might be worth noting because of a ratio, so the half base is 3 on this portion, therefore that is 5, and so 25 plus 9, 34, so this would be the square root of 34. That's right, yep, 9 plus 25, so square root of 34 as well. Plug that into your calculator and connect it to the measures, and what do you get? Well, you get more synchronicities. So, Great Pyramid, same method, I'll show you how to draw that one. Khafre's Pyramid, and then Menkaura Pyramid. Have a good one.